Okay, so continuation tayo sa topic 1 pa rin natin. Let's do the measure of central tendency. So, measure of central tendency, andun makikita si mean median mode. So, sa mean median mode, pag sinabi natin mean, it's the measure of central tendency. Ang mean natin is, or the value that represents the typical or central entry of the data set. So the three most common measure of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. For sure, or na-encounter nyo na ba si mean, median, and mode sa past ninyo ng mga subjects?
Yes, sir.
Sige, very good. At least kahit pa paano may idea yung iba, no? Mean, definitely that's the average na meron tayo, no? Sa lahat ng mga computations natin. And then mean can also have, depende kung saan yung kinukuha natin na mean, whether it's a population mean or sample mean yung kinukuha natin. Sige, so isa-isahin natin, no? Si population mean, denoted by mu. It's the summation of all the sample data and then divided by the total number of observations na meron tayo. And then we also have the sample mean. It's summation of all the data sa sample natin divided by the small letter. And take note sa mga notations natin, ha? Naka-Greek letter yung population mean natin. It's mu. And then naka-X bar yung sample mean natin. Ganun yung notation natin for this. Sige, continue ako. And then we also have sorry. Ipalakin ko lang ang presentation ko. Yan. And then we also have the example here ng mean median mode natin, ng mean natin, I mean. So for example, the following ages of all the 7 employees in a small company. So 53, 32, 61, 57, 39, 44, 57. So when you calculate the mean, so you add all the values and then you divide it by 7. So that's the mean age of the 49. For the mean of the data natin, sampling naman natin, you can just do this. Add lang divided by the n. Median naman is the value that lies in the middle of the data set when the data is ordered. So, examples, similar pa rin sa example natin, i-arrange ngayon natin yan. So, mauuna si 32, and then 39, and then 44, 53, 57, 57, 61. And then, ang pinakagitna na value is 53. So, the median is 53. So, while the mean is 49, the median is 53. So, magkaiba, no? And then we also have the median of ungrouped data. Walang problema pag-add yung arrangement natin or total number of data natin kasi madaling hanapin sa gitnang values. Pero kung naka-median ka, kunin mo yung mean ng dalawang gitnang values. So, example here, find the median of the data score sets. Anong median ng score A? Can you find the median of score? Sige. So, you arrange muna. So, 2, 4, 6, and then we have 12, 15, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, pang-apat dapat na values. So, ang pang-apat na values is 12. Very good. And then, for here, 8 values na meron ka. So, ang gitna is 11 and 12. So, you get the mean. That's 11.5. So, si mode naman is occurs with the greatest frequency. So, sino may pinakamaraming na ulit na data? If dalawa yung nag-tie sa pinakamarami, ang tawag sa data natin is bimodal. So here, yung mode natin, dalawa yung 57. So the data and the mode of the data set is 57. So mean is 49, median is 53, tama? And mode is 57. So magkakaiba-iba. So an outlier is a data set that is far removed from the other entries in the data set. Parang nag-introduce lang siya dito ng outlier, no? Ibig sabihin siya yung pinakamalayo na values. If meron tayong age dito na let's say 18 years old, no? So bang layo kasi 32. So perhaps 18 years old is a uh, outlier. Example lang tayo nito, so you can just do it alone. You can practice this kung ano yung mode natin. Now, doon sa data natin, what if nag-add tayo ng 29-year-old na data, no? So kanina pinakamaliit natin is 32, ngayon mag-a-add tayo ng 29 na employee natin. So recalculate lang natin si mean, median, and mode. So nakikita natin na ano yung nagbago. Ano yung mean natin kanina? 43. Tama? 43.7 ba yun? Ano nga yung mean natin kanina? 49 pala. So 49 yung mean natin kanina. So nung nag-add tayo ng maliit na values, naapektuhan yung 49, naging 46.5. So definitely, pag nag-add ka ng values, nag-introduce ka ng new values, naapektuhan si mean. Naapektuhan ni si median, but si mode, hindi masyado siya naapektuhan. 57 pa rin, yun pa rin yung mode natin. We also have the weighted mean. So weighted mean naman is the mean of a data set whose entries have varying weights. So, ginagamit ito, for example, kung may varying weights ka ng each of the data set na meron ka. Let's have an example. Sorry. Example tayo. So, tests are worth 50% of the grade, homework is worth 30%, and the final is worth 20%. So, a total of 100%. Parang ganun. Parang criteria for judging ang ginagawa. So a student receives a total of 80 points for the test, 100 points for the homework, and 85 points for the final grade. And then what is his current grade? So pwede kang gumawa ng table. Yung test natin or yung grades natin is 80. Ang score set, ang weight is 50%, homework is 30%, and final is 85%. So kukunin natin yung total weights niya, which is 1, ang total weights nito. And then you multiply each weight with the score, and then you add that, and then you divide by 100. So ang X bar natin is 0.87. Ganun lang. So the student's current grade is 87%. So we also have the different shapes of distribution. We can have symmetric, uniform, or depende kung skewed to the left or skewed to the right. Pag skewed to the left, negatively skewed yan. Ibig sabihin yung tail niya nag-extend sa left. Pag skewed to the right, yung tail naman nag-extend to the right. So this is an example of a symmetric distribution tayo, no? Ibig sabihin yung distribution natin, meron tayong symmetric, no, magkamukha. We have to divide the data entries in the middle here, and then magkamukha. It's a mirror images of each other. So for a symmetric distribution, the mean, median, and mode is equal. Ito na may example ng skew to the left. The tail extends to the left. So makita natin dito, nag-extend sa left. And the mean is 23,500, while the median and mode 25,000. So for a skew to the left, the mean is always less than the mean. So may ibig sabihin yung mga distributions natin, shape ng distributions natin. Then we also have the skew to the right, extended naman siya sa right. And so on and so forth. So here are the following shapes ng distribution natin, whether it's symmetric, uniform, skewed to the right, or skewed to the left. Ayan. And then measure of variability naman natin. Sa measure of variability naman natin, tinitingnan natin ngayon yung dispersion ng data natin. O kung gaano kakalat yung data natin. It's a measure of variability, yung measure of dispersion ng data natin. The first measure of this variability is the range. So the range is the maximum minus the minimum data entry. Ayan. So madaling hanapin. If we have the following data, find the range. So hanapin si maximum 67, minimum 56. So i-minus lang natin. Makakakuha tayo ng 11. Yun lang si range natin. Variance naman is we took the square of the deviation. Ang tawag natin sa xi minus mu is the deviation. Ibig sabihin, to get the variance, you need to get the mean. Ito naman yung variance ng sample natin. And then square natin yan, and then kukunin natin yung summation ng each one. And then you divide it by n kung population variance, then n minus 1 kung sample variance. Yung n minus 1 is what we call degrees of freedom. Tama ba? Tama. So, si variance is, kung isa-square root natin si variance, makakakuha tayo ng standard deviation. Ayan, so square root natin yan. And then makakakuha tayo ng original unit of measurement of the observations. Kung naka-centimeter yung observations natin, centimeter yung nakukuha natin sa standard deviation na meron tayo. So how do you interpret standard deviation? So standard deviation is the parang basic measures natin ng spreadness talaga ng data natin, no? So for example, here sa unang figure natin, we have the mean as 4 and the standard deviation of 1.18. Sa kabila naman, the mean is 4 and then the standard deviation is 0. Pag 1.18 yan, so ibig sabihin spread out yung data natin by degree or by amount 1.18. No? Sa kabila naman 0, ibig sabihin naka-uniform lang siya dito sa data value or lahat sila is 4, wala siyang deviation. So sa standard deviation, we have the empirical rule. Pag empirical rule naman, sinasabi natin dito na we have 68 for 68% of the data lie within one standard deviation of the mean, 95% of the data lie within 2 standard deviations away from the mean, and 99.7% of the data lie within 3 standard deviations away from the mean. So, sa empirical rule, ginagamit lang ito sa symmetric bell-shaped distribution. So, symmetric dapat yung distribution natin. So, when we transform the x-axis into such number na 0 yung nasa mean natin, gitna, and then this is 1 standard away from the mean and to the right, and 1 standard deviation away to the mean to the left, and then we say that 68% of the data, 68% within 1 standard deviation away. Ibig sabihin 34% sa kabila 34%. Now, the 95%, so ibig sabihin, 95% of the data lie between 1 standard deviation away. So, 95% lahat ng data yan. Kung i-add mo yan lahat, 95% yan. That's 2 standard deviation away from the mean. And then, 3 standard deviations away from the mean naman is a 99.7% of all the data na meron tayo. I-add mo lahat yan, 97 lahat yan. Ganun ang empirical rule. Ganun ang physical manifestation or manifestations ng empirical rule natin. Let's have an example here. The mean value of homes on a street is $125,000 with a standard deviation of 5,000. So we have a mean of 125. So ibig sabihin automatic sa gitna yung 125 natin kasi siya si mean. And then 5,000 ang deviations niya, no, standard deviations niya. So 5,000 sa kabila, 5,000 sa kabila. So that's why 130 and then sa kabila 120. So maglalagay pa tayo ng 5, another 5. So 135, another 5, 140, another 5, 145. Ganun din sa kabila. Now we say that 68% is of the houses have values 120 to 130,000 dollars. Kasi these are 1 standard deviation away from the mean. Yung 68. Now 95% of the data naman from 115 to $135,000, and then 99.7% of all the data from 110 to $140,000. Ganon yung manifestation ng empirical rule natin. So empirical rule can only be used for symmetric distributions. But we have the Chebyshev's theorem. Ang sinabi kay Chebyshev's theorem, lahat ng distribution gagamitan ng Chebyshev's. So whether it's symmetric, skewed to the left, skewed to the right, o mga bimodals natin, pwedeng gamitan ng Chebyshev's. According to Chebyshev, the portion of any data set lying within K standard deviation, dapat K must be greater than 1 of the mean is at least 1 minus 1 over K squared portion. Okay? Or yun yung portion niya or yung decimal niya. Sorry. For example, when K is equal to 2 or 2 standard deviation away from the mean, yung K standard deviation away, so for 2, ibig sabihin, i-input lang natin doon, so 1 minus 2 squared is equal to 3/4 or 75%. So 75% of the data lie within 2 standard deviations away from the mean. And then if K is equal to 3, 88.9% of the data lie within 3 standard deviations away from the mean. Ayan. Let's have an example here. The mean time for a women's 400-meter dash is 52.4. So ito yung mean natin, 52 point. Hindi na ata nag-move yung PPT. I saw. Ay, sorry. Hindi ko napansin na hindi nag-move. Anyway, yan. Na-update na siya. Wait, move pa rin ba? Bakit siya nag-move?
Thank you, sir.
Okay na.
Okay na, sir.
Ayan, nag-move na siya. Sige. Ulitin ko. So the mean time in a women's 400-meter dash is 52.4 with a standard deviation of 2.2. So ilalagay mo ngayon si 52.4 sa gitna natin. And then 2.2 yung standard deviation natin. So one standard deviation away is 2.2 away from the mean. So that's 50.2 and 54.6. Two standard deviations away from the mean is another 2.2 here sa kabila, another 2.2 dito sa kabila. Now, two standard deviations away is from 48 to 56.8. And according to Chebyshev's na meron tayo, 1 minus K squared, 1 minus 1 over K squared ang given. So at least 70, so if I'm gonna input that sa Chebyshev's, magiging 0.75. So we can say that at least 75% of the women's 400-meter dash times will fall between 48 to 56.8 kasi yun yung 2 standard deviations away from the mean. Okay? Sinabi naman dito na at least 75% of the data. So, pwede natin i-input dito, no? 0.75, ito, 75% for 2 standard deviations away from the mean. Or, like, we can use 1 minus K squared is equal to 0.75, then find the value of K. And to solve that, K is equal to 2. So, 2 standard deviations away from the mean. Last na measure natin is the measure of position. So sa measure of position naman natin, tinitingnan natin pag yung position ng data natin pag nirarank natin. So we have the fractiles are the number that partition or divide and order data sets. So we have different fractiles, the quartiles, percentiles, and the deciles. So si quartiles, we have Q1, Q2, Q3. So, i-divide ngayon natin yung whole data set natin into 4 equal parts. Pag percentile naman, 100 equal parts. And pag deciles, 10 equal parts. Tama? Sige. So, a test score at 80th percentile indicates that the test score is greater than 80% of all the test scores and less than or equal to 20% of the scores. Anyway, mas maintindihan pa natin siya further pag magbibigay tayo ng example. Again, si measure of positions is maglalagay tayo ng ordered sets and then maglalagay tayo ng different positions kung saan i-divide natin yung data sets natin according to Depende kung mag-quartiles tayo, percentiles, and deciles. Sige, unahin natin si quartiles. So, di ba sinabi natin si quartiles, i-divide natin into 4 equal parts. So, let's say 0 to 100 yung data points natin. And then, i-divide natin into 4 equal parts. So, this is the first equal part. And then, we have the second equal part, itong dito, 25 to 50. Ito yung third equal part, 50 to 75. And the fourth equal part, 75 to 100. Now, yung position ni 25 is what we call Q1. Yung position ni 50 is called the Q2. And the position of 75 is the Q3. Q2 is also called the median kasi di ba siya yung pinakagitna. So kung may data tayo 0 to 100, ang gitna ng 0 to 100 is the 50th position. And that 50th position is the median. So, ayan. So Q1 is the median of the data below Q2. So kung 0 to 50 tayo, ang median is the Q1. And then Q3 is the median of the data above Q2. So dito naman na data set, ang median is the Q3. Ayan, so you can just read this. Let's have an example sa quartiles. So the quiz scores for 15 students is listed below. So find the first, second, and third quartiles of the scores. So we have, ito na lahat ng scores natin. Then you order the data, no? I-arrange natin yung data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 15 yan. Now, ang pinakagitna na data is at 8th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kasi 7 ito, 7 din ito. So, ang pinakagitna is the median, which is the 43, and that is also the Q2. Now, ano yung gitna nito na values? Itong 28 to 42, ano yung pinakagitna na value dito? Anyone?
Sir?
Ano yung
37,
gitnang
sir.
value? 37. So this unang 37 na to, siya si Q1. And then dito naman, ang gitnang value dito is the 48, yun si Q3. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga values 28 to 33, they are all the values below Q1. 37, 38, 42 are the values below Q2 but above Q1. Si 43, 44, 45 are the values above Q2 but below Q3. And 48, 51, 55 is above Q3. So pag sinabi kong, okay, where does the score 51 belongs to? So saan ba nabibilong si 51? At what position? Anyone?
Po.
Upper Q3.
Above Q3. Tama?
Above Q3.
Above Q3. Tama, very good. So for example, saan nabibilong si score number 38?
Sa Q1.
Above
Q1
Q1.
po.
Lower half.
Of Q1
Below Q2.
below Q2. Tama. Kasi pwede naman natin sabihin na si 30 is below Q2. Below pa rin siya kay Q2. Pero kailangan natin i-emphasize kung saan talaga siyang position. Kung above Q1 ba siya or below Q1, yung 38 natin. So it's below Q2 and above Q1. Ganun dapat yung pag-describe natin. So you can just read the step here on finding the quartiles na meron tayo. Yung pag-graph natin kay quartiles, gumagamit tayo ng interquartile range. So, the interquartile range is the difference between the third quartile minus the first quartile. So, for example, dun sa example natin kanina, alam natin si quartile 1, 37, si quartile 2, 43, si quartile 3, si 48. Now, the IQR, the interquartile range, is 48 minus 37, and that's equals to 11. So, the quiz score in the middle portion of the data set vary by at most 11 points. Ayan. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ni quartile range. Hinahanap niya kung ano yung variation or ano yung range nung values natin sa middle. Para mag-plot ng quartile, we're gonna use the box and whisker plot. So, si box and whisker plot, nakikita natin doon yung 5-number summary. Ano yung mga numbers na yun sa box and whisker plot? We have the Q1, Q2, Q3, and the maximum entry. So, again, dun sa example natin, 28, 30, 33, 37, and so on and so forth. You know that for 28 is the minimum entry. So, may minimum entry na tayo. The maximum entry is 55. The Q1 is 37. The Q2 is 43. And the Q3 is 48. So, paano natin siya ilalagay sa box and whisker? Ayan. Yan ang itsura ng box and whisker natin. No? Si 28 is the whisker sa lower, and then whisker naman sa taas si 55. And ang nakalagay sa box natin are the Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay, this is an example of box and whisker natin. Si Excel, pwede naman tayo mag-box and whisker kay Excel. Input ko muna yung data natin, ha? Para makita natin yung sub and box and whisker kay Excel. Yung original data mismo natin, saan yung data? Yun, 28. Input ko muna. We have 28, 43, 48, 51, 43, 30, 30. Wait lang. I-project ko muna. Excel ko. Ayan. Nakikita yung Excel ko?
Yes, sir.
So, 55, 44, 48, 33, 45, 37, 37, 42, 38. So, yan. 15 scores yan lahat. And then, pwede tayong magawa ng box and whisker dito. So, you do the recommended charts, all charts, and then check the box and whisker. Ayan, box and whisker. And then, okay natin. Ayan. So, ito na yung box and whisker natin. No? Pwede nakatayo at pwede nakahiga naman yung box and whisker. Depende naman yan sa Excel. So, pwede yung ipahiga, no? So, you can just do the select data and then, I think, i-switch lang natin. Anyway. But most of the data presentations, nakatayo si box and whisker. Yan. So, makita natin dito that 28 is the lower na values natin, the minimum. And then, sa kabila naman, maximum 55. And then, ano yung Q1 natin? Q1 is 37, value 37. Q2 is 43. And the Q3 is 48. Ayan. And then, itong X na to is the mean. So, the mean is around 41.5. Yan yung mean natin. Ng data natin. Okay? Sige. Pwede din natin kunin yung mga quartiles natin, values ng quartiles natin na hindi tayo nagba-box and whisker. Let's say, I'm gonna, again, ito na data natin. Kunin ko si Q1. Q1, Q2, Q3. Yan. So, Q1 is equal to the quartile. So, isulat natin si quartile. Ito, quartile. I-click natin to, yung function. Okay? So, lalabas ngayon si quartile na array. So, ito yung array natin. Yung data array, i-highlight natin lahat yan, comma, and then kung ano yung kunin natin na quartile. Quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and so on and so forth. So, quartile 1, close, and then 37. Tama. So quartile 2 again equals quartile. And then array, i-highlight natin lahat ng data natin, comma, quartile 2 or the median, 43. And then equals, so quartile 3 naman, array, comma, quartile 3, 46.5 or 40, yeah, 46.5. Siya si quartile 3 na position. Okay, nakikita ba yung Excel ko?
Yes, sir.
Opo, sir.
Okay. Wait. Check natin yung layout kung layout. Sobrang ko eh. Meeting tool. Ayan. Sige. Ayan, ganun tayo kumuha, no? Kailangan ma-master natin yung mga functions natin sa Excel natin. I'm gonna go back sa PowerPoint. Tapusin ko lang tong the rest. Something else. Ayan, so ganun tayo magawa. So decile naman, hahatiin natin into 10 equal parts, no? We have the D1 to D9. So, si percentile naman, from P1 to P99. So here are the steps kung paano natin gagawin yan. Okay? Sige. Let's have an example. We have the following scores natin, no? 6 ng raw scores, 60, 47, and so on and so forth. Paano natin kunin si Q1? So, pwede nyo yung input sa Excel, then quartile, then i-highlight lang natin, and so on and so forth. Sige, pero sobrang dami kasi, 50 points. Kayo na lang bahala. I-practice yung sarili nyo here. You input all the 50 data points, and then just follow the quartile na meron tayo. Sa Excel, walang decile sa Excel. Like for example, dun sa data natin, walang decile, but you can use percentile kay Excel, and then para makita natin. Sige nga, input natin. Isa-isahin natin. Okay, balik ako dun sa data natin. And then input ko to. Nakikita niyo yung Excel ko?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sige. From the original data natin, doon na lang sa kanina, yung 28 to 57, nakukuha natin si Q1, Q2, Q3. Tama? Let's find the decile 7. But before that, mag P58 muna tayo. Percentile P58. Kayo na lang bahala maggawa nito. Anyway, P58, so ang function naman nito is percentile. Percentile. So makita natin percentile sa baba, array and what K. So percentile, where's your array? This is your data array. Highlight the data array. And then, comma, ang K is naka-decimal form siya. So kung 58, so you write 0.58. 0.58. Yan. Ganyan ang expression ni Excel. And that's 43.12. So that's P58, 43.12. So kung i-rank natin yan siya, so at our yung position na P58, 43.12. Sige, sir, paano natin hanapin si D7? Wala kasing decile, walang decile si Excel. You cannot find, walang function decile si Excel. But you can transform decile into percentile. Okay? Ano yung corresponding percentile ng decile 7? Sige nga, anyone? Kung si decile 7, hahatiin ang datasets into 10, and si percentile, hatiin si datasets into 100. Ang decile 70, ano ang corresponding percentile niya? Anyone? Anong equivalent ni D7, ni decile 7 sa percentile? Itong Q1, ang corresponding percentile niya is P25 kasi 25% of the data fall sa Q1. Si P2 can also be P50. Si Q3 can also be P75. Correspondingly, si Q1, si P50 can also be D5, decile 5. It can also be the median. So maraming ibig sabihin si median. It can be decile 5, it can also be percentile 50, it can also be Q2. My question is, pag D7 tayo, anong corresponding percentile ng D7?
P70.
Very good. It's P70. Sino yung nagsagot?
Flores po, sir.
Flores. Okay. So P70, very good, Flores, is P70. Si D7. So P70, so pwede natin kunin si P70 sa kay Excel na. Percentile, array, highlight your array. And then, comma, 0.7. Okay, paki-screenshot kung gusto niyo ma-follow. And then, that's equal to 44.8. So, the P70 is at the position, the value of the position P70 is 44.8. That's also the D7 na meron tayo. So, ayan. Yan yung mga differences ng mga fractals natin, positions natin. I'm gonna present the slides again. I think we're getting near na. So may yung sa example ko naman, may answer naman. So just use the Excel to find these values. So si standard z-score is also a measure of position, and then it will tell you the value z. No? So z-score or the standard score is equal to the value minus the mean over the standard deviation. So kailangan mo ng mu, which is the population mean, kailangan mo ng sigma, which is the population standard deviation, no? And then kaya makukuha mo si z. So the standard score will also give us the outlier. So again, si outlier, this is the observation that looks suspicious, usually sobrang laki or sobrang liit na value in the data set. O yung parang iniisip mo, siguro mali itong value na ito, no? Kakaiba itong value na to, outlier ito. Ganon. So, according to Chebyshev, masasabi natin na yung data set natin is dapat 3 standard deviations away from the mean. ang mga values natin. So to the left, 3 standard deviation, and to the right, 3 standard deviation. Pag lumagpas ka sa 3 standard deviation away, perhaps outlier na yung value natin. So let's have an example. A test score for all the statistics finals at Union College have a mean of 78. So yung mean natin 78 and a standard deviation of 7. So find the different z-scores for 85, 70, 78. So this is the solution for that. Given the mu and the standard deviation, the z-score for 85 is 85 minus 78 divided by 7, and that's 1. Ibig sabihin, this score 85 is 1 standard deviation higher than the mean. Yung 70 naman, mas below siya sa 78, so lower than the mean siya by 1.14. Note that z-score can also have a value of negative. And then if ever na yung tumama yung value natin sa mean natin, like ang mean natin is 78 and we're gonna find for the z-score of the exact value 78, and that's 0, then this means that the z-score is 0. Now you can also use z-score as a way to compare, to compare values of the different, coming from the different mean and standard deviation. This is an example. John received 75 on a class with a mean of 73.2 and standard deviation of 4.5. On the other hand, sa kabilang section, si Samantha naman, naka-receive ng 68.6 and ang class mean is 65 and the standard deviation of 39. If you compare both on the raw data lang or raw score lang, si John naka-receive ng 75 and si Samantha naka-receive ng 68.6. Kung titingnan natin doon, mas magaling si John, pero you also gonna look at saan ba nanggagaling si John at saan nanggagaling si Samantha. Si John nanggagaling sa 73.2 na klase at with the klase na may mean at standard deviation of 4.5. On the other hand, si Samantha, iba rin ang value ng mean and standard deviation niya. So you find for the z-score of John and you find for the z-score of Samantha. Makikita natin na the z-score of Samantha is higher than the z-score of John's. So kahit na mas malaki yung score ni John, but you have to look into the z-score kung saan sila nanggagaling ng mean at standard deviation. For this specific example, Samantha has a greater z-score compared that of John's. That's why masasabi natin that Samantha's score is better than John. Na mas maganda yung score or mas mataas yung score ni Samantha compared kay John based on the z-score calculation. I hope naintindihan na natin ito. And that's the end of your topic 1. I hope na encapsulate natin. I'm gonna go back to the objective natin, no? Or ng core learning outcomes natin for this topic. Mahaba-haba itong topic 1. Ganon din sa iba, mahahaba rin naman, no? So, for topic 1, we distinguish the fundamental terms in statistics and analysis. So, nagawa naman natin yun. Na-define naman natin yung mga different terms. Nag-solve tayo and then nag-interpret tayo ng various descriptive measures. So, ano yung mga measures na na-encounter natin? Can you give one measure na na-encounter natin? Anyone? Ano yung measures na na-encounter natin? Tatlo yung measures na na-encounter natin. Kung walang sasagot, I would assume na walang nakinig during my entire lecture. Mean, median, mode. Anong tawag doon sa mean, median, mode? Wahid? Anong measure sila? Sige, anong measure si mean, median, and mode? Anong
Hindi po ba central?
The measure of central tendency.
Very good. It's the measure of central tendency. Tama. So, isang measures pa lang yun, the measure of central tendency. How about other measures? Ano pa yung other measures na kinuha natin?
Measure of position.
Tebes?
Yes, sir. Measure of position.
Okay. Ano yung mga measures of position natin, Tebes?
Sir.
Ha?
Five. Yung quartiles, percentiles, and deciles.
Very good. And then, ano pa yung isang measure na diniscuss natin?
Yung ano.
Anyone?
Measure of variability.
Measure of
po, sir.
variability.
Very good. It's the measure of the variability. Sa measure of variability, tinitingnan naman natin kung gaano kakalat, gaano ka-spread, gaano ka-dispersed yung data natin. Ano yung mga measures of variability na na-discuss natin?
Range, variance, standard deviation.
Very good. The range, variance, and the standard deviation. So, I hope, no? Sino yung nagdi-discuss dito, sumasagot dito? I think Teves. Can you please raise your hand?
Yes, sir.
Yung mga
Yes, sir.
sumasagot dito, because I will give extra points sa mga students na sumasagot. Okay. Can you please raise your hand, yung mga sumasagot? We have Teves. Sino pa? Sino pa yung sumagot? Flores. Wait lang, hindi ko makita. Wait lang ha. Saan yung layout dito? Okay, so we have Teves, Flores, Ramuga, Asnawi, Wahid, no? Ito yung mga sumasagot dito ng mga bata. I'm gonna take note. Kasi I'm gonna give points to these students. So it's very important that you participate in this class kasi nagbibigay ako ng points sa mga nagpa-participate. Okay? Kent Ramuga, which part of the discussion ka nag-participate?
Sir, sa ano, yung first part.
Which part? Which specific part?
Dito sa ano, sir? Sige to.
Okay, sino po yung nag-participate kanina? Yun lang? Tatlo lang?
Dito sa mga tabular representation, sir.
Okay,
Kanina.
very good. So, we have Teves, Flores, Ramuga. Sila lang. As now, which part ka nag-participate kanina?
Sige.
Mula po doon po sa pinaka-start ng tubular hanggang po doon sa mga formula, yung mga data, tapos next po